Very nice. Very provocative titles, John.
Thank you. Have you read them?
I riffled through them.
Riffled?
I went over them, glance-wise.
Does that mean that you read them?
In a way.
In what way?
Well, if you're gonna pin me to the wall...
You didn't read them?
No.
Why?
Well, I didn't have the time, but other people around the office read them.
Hamilton, you cannot put it off indefinitely.
Now, what do you want to be a writer for? We got plenty of writers. They hang around in clusters like bats in a cave.
Oh, very colorful. You ought to write yourself.
No, I'm just an editor, John.
True. Nobody expects you to write or know anything about it.
That's not nice.
I want to know what you think of them.
I think you're a very good cartoonist, and why don't you keep doing what you know how to do?
Hamilton, man does not live by floppy-eared dogs and funny little people alone. I want to express myself. I have a point of view. There are many things I want to talk about.
Messages?
You can call it that, yes.
I always say if you got messages, send a telegram.
Oh, very, very good. I may write that down and keep it in my wallet.
Now, that's not very nice either. And I want to remind you, John, you're a humorist. Stick to that.
You don't think it's possible to make a statement with humor?
Well, it's very difficult, and those prove it.
Then you did read them.
Yes and no.
Well, that's an improvement over glance-wise. And I'm thankful for any improvement in my world, and, well, you know. Man's ability to reason is what lifts him a step above the animal. Unfortunately, that is not true of Hamilton Greeley. He is a breed unto himself. Hamiltonus stupidicus, also known as the hypocrite gibbon or the one-track-minded baboon. Quiet. Nothing you have to say is of any interest to anyone. He has spawned endless varieties, all of them natural enemies of creative man. Here, for example, is the cynic fish. Doesn't believe anyone is capable of accepting the challenge of ideas. According to this animal, Michelangelo had a lucky nervous twitch, without which he would have remained a ceiling painter. Flat white, no trim. And here we have the three-toed negative editor bird. Natural habitat, the mahogany paneling of the Manhattanite building. He would have said no to the Declaration of Independence and demanded a rewrite.
Rewrite! 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 Rewrite!
Silence. You will screech only when spoken to. The furry, unimaginative brain picker. Closely related to the negative editor bird, lives for the most part on other people's ideas, which it chews up thoroughly until they are unrecognizable. Extremely dangerous when asked to be honest.
My idea! My idea! Give me credit. Give me credit. Credit. Credit.
This species is unreachable with sense or logic of any kind. Believe me, I have tried.
Cartoon! Cartoon!
Oh, be quiet. You can't even see past the end of that considerable nose. Any halfway intelligent ape could see the possibilities in these. Maybe if I switched this first paragraph. I'm looking. Not a bad idea. It's clearer. Any simpleton ought to be able to understand that now.
Good.
That's very good. Very good indeed. Would you mind making a little less noise, please? I'm trying to work.
Forgive me, John.
Yes?
I don't like to interrupt you when you're working.
No, that's all right. I suppose I need a break now anyway.
I think you'd better come down and have a talk with your daughter.
Oh, must be pretty serious when our daughter becomes your daughter.
Lydia had a fight with Fenton Berger today. Harold Berger is coming over in a little while to see you about it.
What's a Fenton burger? Or for that matter, what's a Harold burger?
The Bergers. They live at 494 on the next block.
Oh, sure. The Cape Cod Colonial.
That's it.
With the New Orleans ironwork.
John, Lydia is waiting.
Yes, Daddy, it's true. I did punch Fenton Berger in the tooth.
Why, that's terrible. The female of the species never punches the male.
Mrs. Berger says the tooth is loose, John.
Please, Ellen, spare me the grisly details. I'm curious to know why a daughter of mine would punch a Fenton burger. What were you fighting about?
Sex.
I beg your pardon?
Sex. S-E-X.
I know how to spell it.
I'm afraid this is serious.
Sex is always serious, especially in Connecticut. How old is this Fenton burger?
Fenton Berger is 10 years old. Fenton Berger is also a creep.
What sort of a creep, sexually speaking?
John.
Some grisly details are pertinent. I want to know what they were doing.
We were just talking.
About what?
Babies.
That's sex, no question about it.
Thank you, dear. What about babies?
Where they come from.
Do you know where they come from?
Oh, come on, Daddy.
You told Fenton Berger?
He told me.
Men.
He said something offensive?
Worse than that.
John,
I heard her.
they're here.
Now let's try and be intelligent about this. Dispassionate and intelligent. Ellen, you will go to the door. We will wait here.
All right.
Try to stay calm. We'll meet them with quiet dignity.
Okay.
And no tears.
Well, who's crying?
We'll iron this out, don't you worry.
Who's worrying?
I am. Mainly about your attitude.
Well, please come in.
Thank you, Mrs. Monroe.
John, you remember Mr. Berger?
Of course. 494 next block, isn't it?
Right, corner lot.
The Cape Cod Colonial.
How's that?
And this is Fenton.
Fenton, how's the boy?
Fine, thank you, Mr. Monroe.
And of course, you two know each other.
I'll say we do.
Well, you're not very nice anyway.
Cool it, Tiger, easy.
Why don't we all sit down and be comfortable?
Thank you. If you don't mind, we'll stand.
All right. I think we can straighten this out. As I see it, the kids were having a brawl and...
Marlene, my wife, says a very important tooth is loose.
That's right, John.
And she also tells me that she had to cancel his music lesson this week. The jaw is that painful.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. What does Fenton play?
The flute. He's starting the trumpet, drums, and guitar any time now. Right, Slugger?
Yes, Daddy.
Anyway, the way I get it is the two of them were having this innocent discussion together when all of a sudden, whammo, Lydia let him have it. Of course, he didn't expect it. His guard was down.
We understand that this little discussion was of a sexual nature.
A sexual nature?
That's what Lydia tells us.
Really?
Why don't we hear Fenton's side of it first? Fenton?
How about it, big fella? You want to tell us what happened? Now, don't be afraid. Remember, it takes two to tango.
What were you talking about?
Babies. About where they come from.
Now we're moving. So?
So, I told her, that's all.
And that's why she hit you.
Yes.
Huh? There we are.
What exactly did you say to her, Fenton?
I told her that Daddy puts lilies of the valley in the mother's room and opens the window so the bluebirds can come in. Then they go out and look under the lily pad.
That's when I hit him.
I would have hit your back, but I don't fight.
Killer. Who told you all this stuff about the bluebirds and the lily pads?
Mommy.
Figures.
Ellen, why don't you take Fenton and Lydia into the kitchen for some of that lemon custard ice cream? Hmm?
But what about...
Ellen?
Oh, yes, dear.
Now remember, in case of trouble, 3-minute rounds and a mandatory 8 count in the case of a knockdown.
And you call me if you need me.
I knew I shouldn't have come over here tonight, but Marlene thought I ought to handle it.
I thought you did very well, as a matter of fact.
I don't know what it is. She's got this crazy thing about the kid growing up too fast, but I didn't realize it had gone this far.
Yes, I see what you mean.
Well, I mean, the boy loves his mother. He trusts her. What's he gonna think when I tell him the truth?
I can't imagine.
After the bluebirds, it'll sound ridiculous.
Yes, I can see that it might.
He won't believe me. He'll sit there and laugh at me.
He may not.
Oh, wouldn't you?
Yes, I think I would.
I better get him home. No, I better not. Maybe, I don't know. What would you do, Monroe, if you were me?
Well, I think I'd use my imagination and just follow my instincts. But the fact remains, my daughter hit your son, and that was wrong. I am sorry about the tooth and the flute lesson.
Oh, that's all right. If we notify the teacher in time, she doesn't charge us.
Oh.
Say, Monroe, give it to me straight. Does your daughter really know about all those things?
I don't know for certain, but I'd be willing to bet on it. Of course, I don't blame you for being exasperated.
It's just that Fenton's so stupid, Daddy. All that stuff about lilies of the valley and bluebirds.
Well, look at it this way. He's entitled to his opinion.
Even if it's stupid?
Even so. It's his privilege, though I'll admit he's abused that privilege.
That's why I hit him.
Didn't gain you anything. You felt bad afterwards, didn't you?
Yes.
I knew it.
Hurt my hand.
Wrong reason. All right. Let's say that we agree Fenton is stupid.
Okay, let's say that.
And you, Lydia Monroe, are not stupid. At least about bluebirds and lily pads and things like that.
Right.
So naturally, you feel superior.
No question.
And you feel that that superiority gives you the right to just hang one on him?
Sure. What's the sense of being superior if you can't take advantage of it once in a while?
Good question. The answer is that you have to be very careful. Because all those inferior clods out there, like Fenton or Hamilton Greeley, for example, have an annoying habit of being very smart when you least expect it. It can be quite embarrassing.
Sounds pretty sneaky to me.
It is. It's one of the advantages of being inferior.
Well, if being inferior means that sometimes you're superior, then you never really were inferior to begin with.
That's a very interesting point.
It is?
But don't you think so?
I'm not sure. It's a little confusing.
Let's see if I can make it clear for you. I'm going to tell you a story about a meeting that took place a long time ago between the most superior and the most inferior beings on the face of the earth.
Who were they?
A human being and a dinosaur.
Well, what would they talk about?
About each other, mostly. Man, as you might expect, would do most of the talking. The dinosaurs were a pretty sad-looking group.
Why was that?
Well, they realized, of course, that they were inferior creatures, and they seemed to have some advanced knowledge that they were doomed to extinction in just a few million years.
That's enough to make anybody sad.
Mankind seems to be developing exactly that same look. Anyway, it was all ages ago in a wasteland of time and a wilderness of space. Man in uppercase and dinosaur in lowercase came face to face. They stood like stones for a long while, wary and watchful, taking each other in. Something told the dinosaur that he beheld before him the coming glory and terror of the world. And in the still air of the young planet, he seemed to catch the faint smell of his own inevitable doom.
Greetings, stupid.
Hello.
Behold in me the artfully articulated architect of the future. The chosen species, the certain survivor, the indestructible one. Monarch of all you survey and of all that everyone else surveys, for that matter.
I'm pleased to meet you.
On the other hand, you are, curiously enough for all your size, a member of the inconsequent ephemera. You are one of God's moderately amusing early experiments, a frail footnote to natural history, a contraption in a museum for future man to marvel at. An excellent example of Jehovah's jejune juvenilia. What was that?
I was just sighing.
Perpetuating your species would be foolish and futile.
The missing link is not lost. It's hiding.
If there were no man, it would be necessary to create one. God moves in mysterious but inefficient ways, and he needs help. Man will go on forever, but you will be one with the mammoth and the mastodon. For monstrosity is the behemoth of extinction.
There are worse things than being extinct, and one of them is being you. Easy. You'll hurt yourself.
You can't even commit murder. Murder requires the mind. You are capable only of dinosaur slaughter.
Well, see...
You and your ilk are incapable of devising increasingly effective methods of destroying your own species and at the same time increasingly miraculous methods of keeping it extant.
Mm-hmm.
You will never live to know the two-party system, the multi-party system, and the one-party system.
Well, that's something anyway.
You will be gone long before I have made this the best of all possible worlds, no matter how possible all other worlds may be.
Probably.
In your highest state of evolution, you could not develop the brain cells to prove innocent men guilty even after their acquittal. You are all wrong in the cranium and in the cortex.
That's no way to give a dinosaur confidence.
I have wasted enough time on you. I must now use these fingers which God gave me and probably wishes he had kept for himself to begin writing those noble volumes about me. Volumes which will one day run to several 100 billion items. Many of them about war, death, conquest, decline, fall, blood, sweat, tears, threats, boasts, warnings, hopelessness, hell, and heels.
You could say it all simpler than that.
You think so?
Sure. Man meets world, man conquers world, man loses world.
Oversimplification.
Maybe. I'll tell you how we look at it.
Who cares how you look at it? There'll be little enough in my books about you and your ilk and your kith and your kin. For after all, who were you and your ilk and your kith and your kin?
We've been around a long time.
A long time. The flicker of an eyelid in all the vastness.
A couple of 100 million years. You kick it away just like that?
Just like that. However, I will see to it that your species receives a decent burial with some simple ceremony. Good day and goodbye to you.
Boy, he's got a lot to learn about how to be a human being.
Man, as it turned out, was right. The dinosaur and his ilk and his kith and his kin died not long after, still in lower case, but with a curious smile of satisfaction or something of the sort on their ephemeral faces. Moral, the noblest study of mankind is man, says man.
I like that.
I'm glad.
Daddy, are you a genius?
Well, oh, it's late. We can talk about that some other time.
You know, I never thought much about dinosaurs before. I'm kind of sorry they became extinct.
Can't win them all, you know.
If I see Fenton tomorrow, I'll try to remember what you told me.
That's my girl. Oh, and Lydia,
Hmm?
watch out for those bluebirds, huh? Good night, Hamilton.
The noblest study of mankind is man, says man. Very well done, John.
Thank you.
I love the cartoon. You know, some of the best you've ever done. The human being and the dinosaur. It's funny. It's very funny.
You don't mind that it has a message?
What message is that?
Well, never mind. It's unimportant, really.
I love the dinosaur. You know, there's something vaguely familiar about it.
You think so?
Yeah, it's the expression. I've seen it before.
Really? I hadn't noticed. Well, it's possible. I may have drawn it from some dim, dark memory.
You may very well have.